The Trump administration is facing some very real problems right now. That includes illegal rejection. This has been late-breaking news. The Trump DOJ has failed in what was a do-over of another failure. You may recall all of these cases they've brought against perceived opponents, their so-called enemies list. Well, what you see is several of those were dismissed, and the update is tonight we have the news. They have failed to re-indict the New York Attorney General, Letitia James. A judge had dismissed the original charges. That was within the last 2 weeks. So that's a huge rebuke. It shows they keep legally falling on their face. I'm going to get to that. So if you're interested in how that happened, what it means, how many of these cases are doomed, stay with us. We begin with an even larger story by any estimation because it involves allegations of war crimes by the Trump administration, shifting narratives about the timeline, real questions from both parties, Republicans joining in the demand for answers on Capitol Hill, shifting responses from the administration have added confusion and concern to what we already know was a problem, a deadly boat strike that legal experts and veterans and military experts have said, based on what we know, amounts to a war crime. Now, usually you can't say that so quickly, but because of the nature of the multiple strikes and the clear evidence not really disputed that survivors were killed in a follow-up strike, that looks like a violation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, a war crime. Who would be responsible and whether there will be accountability are the big open questions roiling Washington. Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley was the commander in charge, reporting, of course, up to the defense secretary appointed by Donald Trump. He was on Capitol Hill to brief lawmakers today. If that seems like a faster reaction and transparency than we sometimes see, that's because it is. An administration that has withheld all sorts of things, I'm not going to list them all right now, did not try to prevent him from going in there and testifying, essentially, providing testimony and information to lawmakers. They want to know about the second strike, which killed, as I mentioned, the 2 survivors of the first strike from the U.S. This has become a scandal, starting with Washington Post investigative journalism. Credit to the reporters who are still working across all of these stories in a difficult environment where the administration, including at the Pentagon, has tried to quash exactly this kind of reporting. Now, the Post's initial report had many details that have remained corroborated, some that are widely contested, including the report that Hegseth gave a verbal command to kill everybody. Bradley stated today to lawmakers that there was no actually such an order to kill all. Video of the second strike has not become public. A Democratic congressman who saw it today, however, which is part of the transparency and oversight process, somebody sees it and can give a readout to the public. Here's what they said.
What I saw in that room was one of the most